in Surah Shura, chapter number 42, verse number 29, that it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has created the creatures in the heavens and the earth and has placed creatures in them. The Quran says there is life besides this earth. Today science hasn't proved there is life besides this earth. Scientists say there are high possibilities that life will be there besides this earth.
The Muslims, they follow Zakir Naik or they follow Muhammad. So the question, why Zakir Naik he says something and Muhammad he says something else? Do we have any Muslim who would like to call us and show us that nobody can challenge the Quran? Who is a person can oppose the science of the Prophet of Allah? Any Muslim?
But I do believe wholeheartedly that Islam is the truth.
Okay.
And so I just want the people to know that I am not a scholar.
No problem.
And I have not studied anything before even coming on this. Like for this topic, I have not studied. I just like talking to Christian Prince. I like to see his point of view, and we'll take it from there. Go ahead, Christian Prince.
No, actually, I want to listen to you because you said you believe there is some science in the Quran. So tell us something.
All right, so
choose the most strong one, Bilal, please. The strong one, like something you think there's nobody can refute this one.
Okay, I'm also not a scientist, but I do believe that 1400 years ago they did not have the technology that we have today.
Okay.
So for the things that the Prophet mentioned in the Quran, for example, the mountains, right? The mountains being pegged to the ground. So the mountain is not. It's not only that mountain that you see like we can see, but underneath that mountain there's also like a mini mountain that is pegged to the ground. That's something that I don't believe the Prophet would have known unless it was God sent to him. Can you debunk that, or
no problem? No, sure I can. No, come on, this is very hard for me. Bilal, let me ask you, is the mountains coming from inside the earth or somebody placed it in the top of the earth?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm asking you because you are the one who mentioned science now, because you do not know much about you are the one.
I'm not a scientist, but what I see from the mountain, I see it there, like when we see it there, right? But if I lived 100 years and I just keep looking at the mountain, I will say, wow, that's the mountain. I can see the top of it, just like the house, right? You see the house, but you don't see the base.
But you mentioned that the mountain is made like nails in the ground, right?
Yes, like pigs.
Okay, so is that scientific? Is that how the mountains are created, really?
That is scientific, yes.
Okay, based on what? Because according to your Quran, Allah, He placed the mountains in the top of the earth. Is that correct?
And also they're pegged. It's also mentioned in the Quran as well.
No problem, but according to the Quran, the mountains is not part of the earth. Allah, He placed the mountains in the top of the earth. Yes or no?
I do not know that exact verse. I would have to read it again. If you can bring it up, it would be nice.
No problem. Chapter 16, verse number 15.
Yeah. Can you put it on my screen, please? Because I'm not
sure. I will give you the link. You want me to give you the link in Skype?
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Open the link from your side, please. And as you see, this is your translation, so you can change translation as you wish.
Arabic English would be nice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you speak Arabic, which is good. It says, وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِي. What أَلْقَى mean? What أَلْقَى mean?
He put.
أَلْقَى mean he throw.
وَأَلْقَى, he thrown, okay.
Throw. So he throws something in the top of the earth, and that is mountains. Is that what science says? Is the mountain something we throw in the top of it?
No, but he's into the earth firm mountain, so it does not shake with you, as well as rivers and pathway. Okay. For the rest of the place, but how he placed it, placed them though, Christian Prince, you cannot tell me exactly how he placed them. You can only, because you weren't there when he placed them, correct?
Yeah, but what science says that the mountains is not something placed in the top of the earth. They are coming from inside the earth. So when there is either a volcano, and the volcano will make the magma go out, that will make a mountain, or there is a mountains, they are like exist because the tectonic plates, they are a pressure between two tectonic plates, and that will raise the ground. According to the Quran, is the opposite. According to the Quran, the earth is flat, and Allah, He placed the mountains in the top of it so the earth will not shake. But according to science, areas with mountains is the most shaky place. As an example, Japan, they have an average of 1,000, 1,500, even more sometime, earthquake, and it's an island of mountains. And why they have mountains actually? Because there is the ground there is not stable. So mountains is not to stop the earth from shaking. Mountains are exist there because the earth is shaking. And the mountains are coming from the ground inside out, not outside in. And you studied that in school, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how the Quran teaching you something very false according, maybe elementary school knowledge.
Like I mentioned, Christian Prince, I do not know how he placed them.
Doesn't matter how he placed them, but this is not what happened. You see, he placed them. He placed them. I mean, me and you agree on that he placed them. Okay, Bilal, do we agree that he placed the mountains in the top of the earth? He placed, correct? He placed it. Okay, so that means there was no mountains. Allah, He created the earth, and then Allah, He make mountains, and then He put it in the top of the earth, correct?
Put it on top of the earth?
Yes.
How He did it? Yes. There was mountains on the earth.
I don't know how he did it. It's not the question. The question is how he says such a statement that he placed mountains in the top of the earth, when all of us we know, and you just agree with me, that mountains is coming from inside. Actually, scientists today, they try to fight Christianity, even Islam, by saying, well, if you want to know the age of the earth, study the age of the mountain. Why? They say like the mountain of Himalaya increase an average of whatever centimeter a year, and they say we can measure how many centimeter or millimeter, whatever, and then we will find how many years was the age of this mountain. That's what they say. That is what they call it, science. So when I asked you about science, you said, okay, I will give you this one. But this one again proving that Islam is false, because mountains is not something placed in the top of the earth. Mountains is part of the earth. Actually, is coming from deep inside the earth. As an example, mountain of a volcano.
Fair enough, Christian Prince. So can you tell me how this earth, from your Christian perspective, how this earth came about?
Well, the Bible doesn't give us details much, except that God, He created the earth, God created the heaven. It doesn't say too much about it to tell you what, because this is not really important for me, and the Bible is not a book of science anyway. I mean, if God want to create, when a guy, he studied to be an eye specialist, just to study the eye, he studied 60, 80 books just to study the eye. So if God want to tell us how He created the eye and how the eye function, He need to write for us 60, 80 books at least, so we understand the eye, right? But the Bible is not a book to understand the eye, is to understand God. So here, your God, He is voluntarily jumping into knowledge which is supposedly nobody knows, and this knowledge is false.